Jim, do you think the scoreline was a fair reflection of the 90 minutes?
I think on the balance of play in the second half and with the chances that we had created, I think we could have just edged it in the end. I think the first half was very even. It took a good 15-20 minutes for the game to actually settle down. I thought you could sense a bit of nervousness between the two teams. It was quite erratic at times, and neither team had any great control in it. The goal that we conceded, were obviously very frustrated with that because we had probably one of our best moments in the first half, just about half a minute prior to the goal going in, where a really good passage of play where we built the ball from the back all right through the midfield up into the Raith Rovers final third, and got a really good opportunity to get our noses in front. And then 20 seconds later, 30 seconds later, there's that counter attack and we find ourselves getting exposed at the back area. Vaughan's got far too much space for my liking. Not something that has happened a great deal up to now, I have to say. Defensively we've been very solid and well organised, but that was a real cheap goal from our perspective. But again, got to give great credit to the players, the character. Asked them at half time just to stay calm, not to panic, not to start forcing things forward that weren't there. Continue to be patient in our build up, and I thought for the majority of the second half we were well in control and deserved to get back in the game with a really well worked corner. And Glenn Middleton's got a brilliant chance, 3 or 4 yards out at one each, and Glenn does everything right. He gets a great contact on it, but got to credit the Raith Rovers goalkeeper. Dabrowski makes himself big. I don't think he knew a whole lot about it, but managed to keep it out of the net. And yeah, the game finished 1-1. We always knew it was going to be a very difficult afternoon.
There was obviously a noticeable difference in the performance level before the break and then after the break. So was it just a case of telling them to calm down, because it was quite a frenetic first 45 minutes? Yeah,
I think it took our players some time to get used to the surface. Obviously conditions were very difficult for both teams. We want to be recognised as a possession-based team, and we want to try and build from the back and play into midfield. And I think you've got to credit Raith Rovers for denying us space in the central areas. But we showed them some little bits of analysis at half time, areas that we felt we could exploit, and I thought we did that a lot better in the second half and managed to get our central three on the ball a bit more, managed to get better service up to the strikers and support off it, and hence why we had more control in that second 45 minutes. But now the first half, I just thought it was a real game of just impatience. We know what you're going to get with Raith Rovers anyway. Very well organised. Ian Murray's done a terrific job here. They've recruited well. They've got some very good attacking players, but they're quite direct, looking to get the ball forward early, look to try and pick up second balls, get it wide, and then there's lots of crosses coming in the box. And unfortunately, we didn't deal with that all-important cross that came in the box, and Vaughan found himself in acres of space.
We saw Louis Moult make his return from injury. Not only does he pop up with the equaliser, but that gives your attack a wee bit of a different dynamic where you can start going long and he'll hold it in really well.
Look, I think Louis, got to credit him in terms of prior to the game, he's not 100% fit. We put him in the squad for exactly that purpose there. If we needed him, then he was always going to make himself available, but I was hoping that we weren't going to have to use him because he's probably only about 70 or 80% fit. But full credit to Louis, for making himself available and for popping up with the all-important goal. And it was a really well-worked goal from our point of view. We do spend a lot of time on our set plays, and we've scored a couple of goals already prior to today from that area. Really good delivery into the near post area. Docherty with an important flick, and Louis Moult alive to that second ball to be able to head it into the back of the net.
Obviously we've got Peterhead in the back to the Challenge Cup. Does that give you a wee chance to break people like Louis Moult back into the side a wee bit more gradually? You can maybe come on from the start.
We've got a few players in the squad at the moment who are desperate for some game time, so we'll have a look at what next weekend looks like once we catch up again early part of next week and see how the boys recover from today. Obviously different surface to what we're used to, so tends to be some more aches and pains after you've played on the AstroTurf pitch. Declan Gallagher's limped off with a slight groin strain, so we'll have to make a decision on him, whether we risk him in that type of game. Cudjoe unfortunately missed out today along with Archie Meekison. Both of them picked up knocks in the early part of the week, and again, we'll just have to wait and see what squad we've got available to us. It's an opportunity definitely for a few players to get some game time, but at the same time, we want to make sure that that team we're putting on the park is strong enough to go and win the game and get us through to the next round.
Just overall, was it quite a positive dressing room after the game, given the fact that we've kept that unbeaten run, we've come away to a difficult side and taken a point?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think a point on the road in this league is always a valuable point. I mean, our mindset coming into the game was to win. It's as simple as that. We approached the game in a really positive manner, but we respected Raith in the build-up to it. We know that they're a decent team, and they've won every league game here prior to today, and we always knew it was going to be tough going. So I've got to credit my players again for having the strength and character to come back from being behind. Now, that's too many times in recent games where we've had to come back from a goal behind to get something from the game. But today against the team who's close on our tails in second place, to show really good character, to get himself back in the game, and then, as I said, could possibly have won it at the end. It might not have been deserved to Raith Rovers, and over the whole piece, I think a draw was probably a fair result. And while we're on it, I suppose I've got to give great thanks to the supporters as well. They've travelled through here. I think there was nearly 3,000 of them. The players were blown away by the support all afternoon, and it was quite fitting to be able to get that equaliser in front of them. And just disappointed we couldn't get the winner, because I can only imagine what those scenes might have looked like.